Hey, my creative friends. I am Shannon from Shannon Studio. You can find me at shannonstudio.com, and that's 2 S's in the middle. And we talk creativity every day, and we find creative tips. And for this beginning of this month, since it's the love month, we are talking about marriage and just some ideas, and maybe things are going great for you in your marriage, and just reiterating some things that you already do, or pointing out some good things you do, or maybe things that we can work on. So tonight I'm going to talk about being best friends, and I'm going to start right off with this quote that says, Rebecca Adams wrote this in an article. And she said, a takeaway from these two gentlemen's research was that those who considered their spouse a best friend boasted the highest levels of happiness. In fact, the well-being benefits were twice as large for those couples. So twice as large for those couples. Boasted the highest levels of happiness. Hey, Trisha. So the idea that having a spouse that's a best friend. Now, there are marriage benefits, period, whether you're best friends or not. Hey, Rose. So it doesn't, you're still going to get benefits, but if you want the highest level of happiness, having your spouse as your best friend is going to give you that. So what does that look like? So that's what we're going to talk about. That's what you can put in the comments about what does it look like to have your spouse as your best friend. So I actually asked Samantha, we were talking about it tonight when I was talking to her on the phone. Trisha says, I agree. Yes. Then you'll have lots of tips too to share with us, Trisha. So I was talking to Sam, and I said, so, what do you think about marriage and best friends? And she's just married not quite a year. I think it's coming up. That's so weird. But she said, well, Jared was gone all day Saturday, and I missed him. I missed him. I wanted to see him. And, missing the person because you want to see them, you want to be with them, you want to spend time with them. Trisha says, common interest and shared humor. Totally the shared humor too. I just have to throw that in. And I think the longer you're like, and Alan did it was like, we have a rule, you don't really eat out in the living room. And if you eat out in the living room, Joseph has to eat on the floor, sit on the floor with whatever, because you can't eat on the couch. So Alan always once in a while takes his food and goes and sits on the couch. And then Joseph's like coming over and tattling on him. And I just, and I'm like, support Alan. Remember we talked yesterday about putting each other first. So Joseph's trying to like point out how naughty Dad's being. And so, I tell that dads can do that, and that when he's a dad, he could do it too. But then afterwards, we were talking about, because Alan left the thing on the table. And anyways, we just start going about this thing, and we start just laughing hysterically, because it's like, it's just a joke. I mean, after a point, it's like, are you really going to get mad about the dish on the table? I mean, there are bigger things and bigger problems, and so you start to make jokes out of them. So yes, Trisha, totally humor and shared interest, common interest. I like that too. And sometimes you're going to have separate interests, and that's not, a best friend isn't like 24/7, but a best friend, you definitely have things that you are both interested in that you can talk about. Another thing is that Samantha mentioned, she goes, Jared's the first person I want to tell something to. And that's true. When when something exciting happens, it's like, who comes to your mind first? And hopefully it's your spouse that you can't wait to tell them or ask their opinion, or, they're the first person that comes to your mind. Not that you can't tell other people, not that they aren't in part, but he or she is the first one. Let's see. Oh, Samantha also said you wouldn't have a party and not invite them. So they would get the first invite. So like a big, if you're having a serious party, I mean, she says not like shopping if you're going shopping, but I thought, yeah, your dad doesn't like shopping. But if you're having a party, if you're having a significant event, if you're having a gathering, you want that person there. You miss them silly humor and being open and transparent and honest, and communicating back and forth. It's that idea that your friend is somebody that you have no pretense with. You want to be open because that enhances the relationship. Being open and talking about your feelings and your thoughts can enhance the relationship. Now, I think in the beginning of marriage, you have to learn how to do that. You have to learn how to negotiate that. What is the best way to say something? How is, to actually treat the other person well. I realized early in our marriage that I just did not treat Alan well sometimes. It's like he got my worst behavior. And I would tolerate other people's bad behavior, but his, it was like, no. And it took me a while to like, stop that. It's just like, you can't do that to him. And why does he make me crazy like that? And so that's another night. We'll talk about that. But did you have more than that on that? Nope, you didn't. Okay. So, and deliberately acknowledging them, how they play out in your life. To actually say, I'm so glad you're here. Or I'm, take the time out of the day to make that connection that you are important to me. Some of you probably already do this great. So be sure to add ideas that you think are valuable. And also another thing is the emotional comfort we get when things are bad, when we're having a bad day, sad day, pressure, stress, those kinds of things. Somebody who's your friend is going to be that buffer. It's going to be that comfort to be able to help you navigate through that, to be able to get through that. So let's see. Rebecca Adams says, marriage in a sense is a super friendship. I like that, super friendship. And then Bill Hannawalt said, marriage without friendship cannot work in our culture. And I think that's true. I mean, lots of different cultures marry for with a different cultural context. But in the U.S., we value being friends, being connected, and sometimes our marriages don't last forever. And so it's easy to go, okay, if you're not my friend, then I'm going to go find somebody else who is. And I think that's kind of what the article was referring to. Rose says, you get this point. Rebuild a house, builds your relationship. Oh, rebuilding a house builds your relationship? Is that what you meant, Rose? I was going to say, a lot of people say building a house kind of puts it on shaky ground. Maybe I'm not getting that right. So the idea is to become best friends, and not to get lazy about it. Sometimes after a while we get lazy about things. Because it's so easy. Okay, yes. You guys did a big addition. So did I think Tricia, you guys did that addition to your house, and then we did ours, and we all lived in the same little neighborhood and built around the same time. Okay, so let me see. Okay, the last quote I have is from Allison Weasley, who said, Tricia says, sharing the journey and still doing the love letters. Nice. Yes. My fabric collection's love letters. That's right. Yes, so good point. Thanks for putting that down there too. Love letters. And that reminds me that it's coming up and I need to do that for Valentine's Day. So that's why I just got distracted there for a minute. Okay, with my own thought. But that was a good comment, Tricia. C.S. Lewis said of friendship, it is when we are doing things together that friendship springs up. Painting, sailing, praying, philosophizing. philosophizing, yes. Friends look in the same direction. I liked that. I liked that idea. Friends look in the same direction. It's not like one's looking to take off. It's not, it's like you are on the same page, looking the same direction. Tricia says, we remodeled on the 20-year plan, a project at a time, and it took 20 years. Then yours probably went much better than some people's. And Rose's sounds like hers went better than some people. Okay, well, that is the tip. Becoming best friends. And if you are best friends, to just strengthen that, turn to the other person and say, I am glad you are my best friend. Alan would always tell me that. He would always say, you're my best friend. You're my best friend. It was just this little, tender acknowledgement that I was his best friend. And he would always say that to me. And I value that. And he is mine. And so it does enhance and bring a lot of happiness to our relationship. So that's your tip for today. So tomorrow is Tuesday. Okay, tomorrow is Tuesday. I will be back. In the meantime, remember you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it. Bye.